I'll now take the sederunt for the meeting of the East Kilbride Area Committee of 1 November 2022. The following members are present: Councillors John Anderson, Arch Buchanan, Matthew Buchanan and Jerry Convery.
Here.
Councillor Margaret Cooper is not present. Councillor Joe Fagan is present. We have apologies from Councillors Grant Ferguson and Gladys Ferguson-Miller. The following members are present: Councillors Elise Frame, Jerry Gray, Susan Kerr, Hugh MacDonald. We have apologies from Councillor Monique McAdams, and the following members are also present: Councillors Elaine McDougall, Kirsten Robb, Ali Salamati, Graham Scott and David Watson. Thank you. I'll now pass you back to the Chair for today's business.
Thanks, Stuart. Item 1, declaration of interest. Do we have any declaration of interests? Yep.
No, Chair.
No. Okay, thank you. Minutes of previous meeting, which you have in front of you somewhere. Somebody for approval? Need a seconder for that? Right, as long as that's agreed, thank you very much. Items for noting: we've got education resources here today regarding PB funding, and Laura Mitchell, who is the lead officer, will speak to this report. Laura.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Delighted to be with you today to take you through Education Resources report on participatory budgeting, which we're asking you to note this afternoon. The first part of the report on page 9 takes you through a summary of the 21-22 participatory budgeting activity since we last reported at Area Committee. It's been a while since we've been here, so we thought it was good just to give a sort of roundup of where we got to towards the end of the last academic year. A video has been developed which highlights the work of PB within Education Resources in 2021. This highlights some of the really good practice and the impact that PB has had within our schools. The link to that is in your report if you'd like to have a look, and this has been shared locally and nationally. Learning from PB activity in Year 1 for Education Resources in 21-22 has informed this year's process. PB training has been updated for 2022, which builds on the successes and the challenges from Year 1 of implementation. PB Scotland requested a press release of South Lanarkshire Council's PB journey. This can be found on the PB Scotland website and their Twitter feed, and there's a link to that again in the report. Lead officers also presented the SLC journey at the PB Scotland National Conference on the 28th of November. An article has also been published for The View early in the academic year, and again the link is there to that. We also submitted an award application to the International Observatory on Participatory Democracy for the Best Practice Award for Citizen Participation. The application process is currently underway, and we'll be able to report if we've been successful on that at the next Area Committee. A PB section has been developed within a new equity hub. This is an online site which provides schools with support and resources to help tackle the poverty-related attainment gap. The PB section has got examples of good practice for schools, as well as the training and the PowerPoint, which provides information for schools on how to deliver that in schools. This will be formally launched to schools next week at the CQIS conference. Moving on to the PB activity for 22-23. Before the summer holidays, head teachers were informed that PB will continue into session 22-23 and were asked to allocate a minimum of 5% of their 22-23 PEF allocation, the same amount as we asked for last session. They were also asked to identify a staff member to lead this within their schools. The schools were also informed that the principles and practices of PB can be applicable across the full PEF allocation, and were encouraged to put aside more than the recommended 5%, which some did. The first PB training was developed and delivered to head teachers and leads on the 18th of August, and where they were briefed on the PB process and taken through a PowerPoint presentation. This outlined the expectations and timescales expected, as well as the support available to them. This was recorded and shared online for schools to access should they want to thereafter, or if they weren't able to manage in the first instance. Following this, our head teachers then identified the percentage of their 22-23 PEF allocation that they have allocated for PB. They submitted this information to Education Resources on the 31st of August through their PEF profile of spend. There's also a PB Teams page which continues, which we started last session, which gives live support and answers questions sort of online. It's also a facility to share practice across our schools. Moving on for the East Kilbride area in particular for this year. So within the East Kilbride area, our schools there have collectively allocated £139,957.05, which is approximately 7% of their £2 million PEF allocation for PB. Appendix 1 shows the breakdown of this, which can be found on page 11 for each of the learning communities. Appendix 2 summarises the percentage of PEF allocation, which can be found on page 12. It shows that 43% of schools within the East Kilbride area allocated the minimum 5%, whilst 57% of schools allocated more than this. This session, 13 schools allocated a larger percentage of their PEF allocation to PB than last year, with only 7 schools in the area allocating less than their allocation than they did the previous year. Last year, our schools received an additional 15% uplift for our PEF funding, which was to support post-COVID recovery. This session, schools' PEF allocations are more in line with pre-uplift levels, and this, along with increasing staff costs, have been contributing factors for schools who have allocated less than their 21-22 amount. Pages 13 to 16, Appendix 3, outlines a further school-by-school breakdown of the percentages that schools have allocated and what that equates to in monetary value. Our schools are now currently undertaking the PB process. They're looking at their stakeholder group who are leading that within their schools. Most schools have now finished this process and reported the outcome of the vote to us on the 7th of October. We've got a few schools who are still ongoing due to valid reasons. For example, some schools have got parents' night in the next week or so and want to capitalise on that in terms of getting some votes from parents as they come through the doors. So at the future area committee meetings, we'll report on the outcome of each school vote and what the schools have voted for and what the money will be spent on. Now, happy to take any questions.
That it? Okay. I just wonder, there was a link to the video which I tried to have a look at, but I was unsuccessful in viewing it. So I was just wondering, you mentioned learning in year 1 of the implementation from year 1 of the PB. And can you give us any examples of that? Like what sort of learning took place for the schools, for this coming year when they're progressing with that?
Yes, certainly. One of the challenges was around sort of procurement. A lot of the things that the vote went out to are things that schools haven't procured before, so therefore aren't on our procurement framework. So that's taken a wee bit of time. Our procurement colleagues have been really good at facilitating that, but it's meant that some of the spend hasn't happened within the financial year and had to be rolled on a wee bit, which we were able to do. But schools, I think, are a wee bit more savvy that they've got to think about these things earlier. So that was one of the challenges. Another challenge was about making sure that the ideas that the pupils and the parents put to the vote were within the realms of the Pupil Equity Fund national guidance. And that is quite tricky, given that we're looking at putting things in place for pupils affected by poverty. Not all the pupils and parents in the school are affected by poverty, so it's getting them to understand some of the difficulties that the families face. And schools, I think, have got much better at that. What we have asked is that before the vote goes out this year is that the PB group take the votes to the head teacher, and the head teacher makes sure that they absolutely are adhering to the PEF guidance, and that they're then, the head teacher's kind of rubber stamping that before it goes out to the vote.
Okay, Sorry, I've never seen you. Go. Carry on.
No, thanks. And it's just to follow on from that point. So I can see the council's obviously won awards for the PEF exercise that's been conducted, and for that reason, a number of us that have anxieties about just the very issue that you've raised there. The PEF funding ultimately exists for a very specific purpose, and we want to make sure that it continues to be used for that purpose. So my question really is just about other areas of the budget. Are there other areas of the budget, of school budgets or education budgets, that we're giving consideration to as potential potential areas to be included in a future participatory budgeting exercise? I appreciate that won't be as imminent, but perhaps at some point in future.
I think now that schools have been through the process for the last year, we're starting to see schools really understanding what PB is and really seeing the benefits of it. So they've been much more receptive, as you can see, to put more of their budget towards that. We have had one school who doesn't get their PEF budget. It's a small school. They've actually put a wee bit of their core budget, and the parent council have kindly given them a wee bit of budget as well to put towards PB. So we are starting to see that. There's not been formal conversations, as far as I'm aware, about using other bits of the budget. Budgets are tight in schools, so it's very difficult. But I think what we are encouraging schools to do is, if where possible, look at where PB can be applied, both in a bigger percentage of your PEF or in other areas that the school are looking at.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you very much, Laura, for your report. Thank you. Okay, if we can move on to community grants. Sorry, we move. Right. Can we just formally move that we've noted that? Right. Okay, agreed. Right, community grant applications. We've got 5 in this month. Would anybody like any issues with any of them in the awards? No? No.
Absolutely none, Archie. I'm fine with them all.
Could I ask a wee question?
Okay, carry on, Kirsten.
Oh, okay. It's just to ask how much we can award now. I remembered that I think Monique McAdams had asked for to be uprated in line with the times that we're in. I can't remember how much we're allowed to allocate. Can you remind me, please?
Yeah, we did actually up at about £50, I think it was, something like that. Yeah, there was an email sent out just explaining what the group went through. As the chairs of all the committees discussed it, and we put out £50.
Okay, thank you.
If there's any issue that you want to, or information you need for the area committee, contact the clerk before the meeting, and that way you'll have it. Okay, great, thank you. Right, Councillor Cooper. Councillor Cooper, sorry, carry on.
Actually, I'm sorry I was a bit late. I had to come up from a meeting with Joan, etc., down the county buildings, so apologies for being a wee bit late.
All right.
And regarding the grants, I think we need to remember that we've still got to go to March. So it's just we don't want to be lashing it all out just now, and we've still got some time, for other groups to apply.
Yeah, I agree with you, but we're only getting 5, 6, so we just need to keep an eye on it, Peter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Archie.
Thank you. You. Okay, Hugh, in you come.
Sorry, Chair, I don't have my hand up, so I wasn't looking to ask a question. Not sure what's happened there.
Small error on somebody's part. Thanks. Right. Does the committee agree to award the amounts recommended? Yes. Agreed. Thank you. Report to be approved and seconded. That's what it tells me in front of me. You'll move it. Okay, I'll move it. Seconder. Jerry.
I'll second that.
Right, and now the chair is to ask the committee to agree to approve the report.
Agreed.
Okay. Right, thank you very much. Thanks for attending.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Archie.